Right now at 6, Commonwealth in crisis. The past now haunting 3 top men in Virginia state government.
Tonight, the new revelations from the state's top cop, the new statement from the number 2 man, and a governor barely hanging on to power and not ready to resign.
Good evening. This week has been enough to make your head spin.
Day 6 of the crisis in the governor's office. Now add the attorney general to the list of troubled state officials. This morning, Mark Herring admitted that he too dressed in blackface for a college function. Keep in mind, Herring demanded Governor Northam step down after the drama started Friday. Now, a lot more to figure out about the future of the top jobs in Virginia. We begin our team coverage with 10 on your side's Brett Hall in Richmond. Brett, what a day.
Oh my gosh, my head is spinning, and we are just getting word now from the Virginia Republican Party. They are renewing their call for Ralph Northam to resign and adding, they say regretfully, Attorney General Mark Herring to the list. They say both Herring and the governor have lost the trust of the people of Virginia and have lost the moral authority to govern. For the third time in a week, atop Virginia Democrats' past actions are center stage. Today, Attorney General Mark Herring admitted that while at UVA in 1980, he dressed up as a rapper, putting brown makeup on his face. In a statement, he said, "That I have contributed to the pain Virginians have felt this week is the greatest shame I have ever felt." The frustration from lawmakers is clearly seen in this photo of Senator Louise Lucas this afternoon, captured by an NBC reporter. Portsmouth delegate Steve Heretic tells me by phone that if legislators were to stop and address every new development, nothing would be getting done in chambers. He says at this point, legislating is their #1 priority. And we have also heard from Senate Majority Leader Tommy Norman. He is from James City County, and he is also not commenting right now on all the controversy. He hasn't thus far, and is asking people to please let the legislators focus on making laws. They have passed a lot of bills in the last 2 days alone because of the crossover deadline that was yesterday, and he is going to stay focused on that, according to his statement. Live in Richmond, Brett Hall, 10 on your side.
Thank you, Brett. And of course, as Brett alluded to a few minutes ago, we have not forgotten the situation with the governor is not settled yet. Ralph Northam has pretty much stayed out of the public eye since his news conference Saturday. CNN reported earlier today that Northam was meeting with prominent leaders in the African-American community today. We don't know if he and Attorney General Herring have talked today.
And from the Lieutenant Governor's office today, another message from Justin Fairfax about the sex assault allegations against him. Fairfax reiterated that the encounter he had with the woman in 2004 was consensual. She said in a detailed and explicit statement through her attorneys that much of the encounter was not. The Lieutenant Governor did not talk to reporters as he walked through the Capitol. Tonight, though, the man who's 4th in line to be governor sent us a statement about the trio of scandals. That's Republican House Speaker Kurt Cox.
In it, Cox says, in part, these current controversies will be resolved in due course. In the meantime, we will continue our work on the budget and the hundreds of other bills remaining before us, adding, we have weathered the storms of 4 centuries and will weather this one as well. We'll continue to pray for Virginia during this difficult time.
Well, now we have the 3 top people in state politics all facing their own issues.
And it's a lot to take in for sure. After these past 6 days, a lot of people have been asking, what's next? Will Northam, Fairfax, or Herring survive this? Maybe even who can you believe or who can you trust? 10 on your side's Deanna Bedaneshi now with some analysis on this story tonight. Deanna?
Well, I spoke with Rachel Bidecoffer, who is the Assistant Director of the Weissen Center for Public Policy at Christopher Newport University. She says she thinks there's going to be more politicians coming out about their past. As for what happens if all 3 men step down, she says the leadership would go to the Republicans. The past few days in Richmond have been very controversial. Governor Ralph Northam and Attorney General Mark Herring admitting to wearing blackface, and Lieutenant Governor Justin Fairfax is being accused of sexual assault claims, which he denies. These issues have sparked outrage. Rachel Bidecoffer, the Assistant Director of the Weissen Center for Public Policy at Christopher Newport University, says she feels like there will be more cases emerging from politicians, not just in Virginia, but in other states too.
I'm getting a sense that this is something that other politicians are probably hiding in their background, and that this is still a developing story. I don't know for sure that that is the case, but it just seems like that's where we may be heading.
I asked what she thinks would happen if these men were to resign.
With no clear line of succession, I think it's possible that electorally you start thinking, okay, maybe we stick with what we have, because the alternative, when you start getting way down in the line of succession, is to turn the state government over to the Republican Party.
So how does she think this will affect future politicians?
I think as generational replacement occurs and more people from the Gen X, millennial generation start to win and serve in public office, that's going to be less of a problem, because these generations have grown up under what we consider the modern forms of decency and standards of conduct.
Now, this is something we'll continue to follow for you. If you want to see more information, you can head over to WAVY.com and click on the section Commonwealth in Crisis. In the newsroom, Deanna Beteneshi, 10 on your side.
All right, Deanna, thank you. There's a lot to keep track of here, and the team on your side will do so on every newscast and on WAVY.com.